This is based off in Harlem. We got more migrant updates and more migrants coming in, and people in Harlem are taking care of these migrants. Let's tune into the video and see what's going on in Harlem, New York.
Well, now to our series, Migrants in America. Tonight, a closer look at the West African population that's arriving here in New York City.
While some people welcome the new arrivals, others are having a hard time accepting the influx of migrants. Fox 5's Stephanie Bertini reports from Harlem.
Central Harlem, West 116th Street, between Malcolm X and Frederick Douglass Boulevards, an area defined as Little Senegal years ago, has become home base for new migrants and asylum seekers from West Africa, like this woman from Senegal, who in French tells me she got to New York City the 7th of February. Through word of mouth, she says she learned she could find help at the Senegalese Association of America. The small office, located on 116th, has a newfound level of need. Traditionally a place for Senegalese immigrants to get resources, now it's packed constantly, assisting migrants on immigration matters like asylum claims and other things required to settle in America. Mama.
Listen, they are doing it in New York. They are doing it in New York. They're bringing them in and they're accepting them. They're telling them, "Hey, this is how you do it. This is what we're gonna do." I didn't know they was this nice in New York, man. I honestly, I heard they was hiding in laundromats. I heard they had them hidden in basements, and now they're telling them to come into this immigration spot in Harlem. And they're going to register them. They're going to make sure that they can get their papers together. They're going to make sure that they find a job. They get a place to eat. They get a place to sleep. This is big news. This is big news in New York.
Drame is the president of the association. He says the new demands on his office, fueled by the surge of migrants coming to New York City, forced him to expand what's offered here.
We usually do work from Monday through Friday, but we open Saturday and Sunday for the folks.
Every individual.
He's a migrant. He is a migrant. You can literally hear it in his voice. He's a migrant helping migrants. It makes sense.
Has their own story, and on this day here in Central Harlem, this woman decided to share hers in her own words. In Senegal, I lived with a girl and my family didn't support it. I had problems with my brothers and sisters, she says, adding her sexual orientation was putting my life in danger.
Let's take the example of Senegal that we know better. If you are, let's say, a gay person, you are most likely subject to a target. You can be stoned to death.
Drame says the growing demand on his office is not only
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. They strict over there with their rules, huh?
From Senegalese migrants, but new asylum seekers from different parts of West Africa.
To mingle with your folks, to speak your language, you feel a sense of belonging.
African migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border are among the almost 200,000 that have made their way to New York City since spring of 2022, many arriving in buses from Texas. The strain on city resources, including shelters, is being felt by all asylum seekers.
Some of these
people are living on the streets. Over 200,000 migrants is just coming alone this year in New York. Sheesh. How are they even fitting all these people? I know New York is already packed. These people are sleeping on the floors. They're sleeping on each other. They're sleeping on top of each other in bunk beds. It's crammed basements, and they're doing anything and everything they got to do just to make sure. Just to make sure. It's crazy what's going on, man. And this is not something new. Again, this is not something new. We've known this to be happening. We've seen this happening already, but just the fact that we're seeing now the other side of things where people are actually trying to help these migrants stay instead of pushing them away. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Folks are sleeping underground, train stations, outside.
Language, we've learned, is an extra barrier for African asylum seekers.
People were saying that they were stinking, they don't shower. But we just realized that the shelter system, they use a language that these folks don't understand. You're going to be talking in English or in Spanish because these people, they understand French or the local languages.
There are cultural barriers too.
Some of the shelters are really hard for some of our folks because if you're a Muslim and then the food that they offer in the shelter, because they don't eat pork, they don't eat ham.
Drame says the situation is causing more and more migrants from Africa to navigate towards not only his office, but the area of Harlem it sits in.
Community does what community does. New York does what New York does. America does what America does, which is generally, we'd like for it to welcome immigrants.
Longtime Harlemite and Deputy Borough President Keisha Sutton James says to
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Harlem is pro migrants. At least this side of Harlem. Harlem is pro migrants. It's crazy. This is crazy. New York is pro migrants. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a migrant, y'all know where to go.
her, it's not surprising at all. She's lived in the area for decades.
And they're doing the work that they can do without a work permit. So that's a lot of times delivery work. Yeah. Have a lot of downtime. Right. So they are, as I'm told by Senegalese community leaders, as I'm told, they are spending time hanging out in between their deliveries, you know, on the street, again, where they have, when I say on the street, I'm saying on the sidewalk and the street, hanging out with, you know, other folks that they know.
And 116th is generally where they're congregating, right by the Senegalese Association of America and right across the street from Canaan Baptist Church. Senior Pastor Thomas Johnson shares his take.
I got to tell you, the wave came in like a tsunami. It didn't trickle in. One day, I pulled up into my parking space, and there it was. There they were, hundreds.
The pastor says many are uncomfortable with the new faces.
Can you imagine that, though? Like, you going through your everyday life, you know what I'm saying? You're just going to work, whatever, school, whatever. And you step outside, and then there's just a whole 100,000 people outside your house, just out on the streets. I feel like, yo, what's going on out here? Me personally, I'll be like, what is going on out here in these streets? Oh, they're just migrants. Just let them go. Okay, all right. So I'm just supposed to just cover my eyes and just let y'all just stand in the streets in front of my apartment. Oh yeah, they're just migrants. We accept them here. Let's mind your business. No, I need answers. What's going on here? Where are y'all coming from, and why y'all here? I'm not mad that you're here. I'll be honest with you. Like, I get it. Everybody wants to come to America, but why are y'all in front of my house? I'll be honest. Y'all gotta take that somewhere else. Be honest with you.
I don't go to 116. I used to go to 116. I avoid that area at all costs.
Like Anita Elam, who has lived in Harlem for decades.
It's overwhelming. It's scary, but it is what it is.
Why are you scared?
I don't know them. It's just a lot of them. They're just all over the place.
Community leaders confirm recent headlines of migrants committing crimes, like the group responsible for attacking 2 NYPD officers in Times Square, are fueling some of the concerns in Harlem. But Drame says the majority of those here are not making trouble, rather just looking for a safe place and acceptance.
We exist in peace. Most of these people, they just run away from being jailed, from repression, from persecution.
The realities of their lives might not be apparent at a glance, but their presence is surely being felt as New York City continues to contend with its migrant crisis.
They keep coming. And I don't see an end to this anytime soon.
Man, they got the whole of Africa in New York. They got the whole of Africa in New York, and it seems like they like it. Let's give a hand clap for New York. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I'm not in New York. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I'm not in New York. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. Let me know how you guys feel about that down below in the comments. It's looking like Harlem likes these migrants, man. Harlem likes these